There's also this. People in the town of Brookhaven, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta, are refusing to choose between Biden and Trump in 2024. As a result, they have been dubbed double disapprovers for failing to support both leading candidates. And Brookhaven voters are not alone. In a recent Quinnipiac poll, 52% of voters would like to see other candidates on the 2024 ballot. Alan English is the president of Atlanta Young Republicans and joins me now. Alan, good morning to you. This idea of double disapprovers, it's got a ring to it, and it also really is a legitimate group of people in the swing state of Georgia who don't want to vote for Biden, also are tired of Donald Trump. I understand you're hearing from a lot of these people, so what are they telling you? If it comes down to Biden and Trump, who are these folks going to go for?
Good morning, Carly, and thank you for having me on this morning. You know, I do hear from a lot of people like this, and I think you look at the last couple election cycles, and there's been people like this before. There certainly were people like this in 2016 and 2020. But I think that as we have moved forward in this primary process, that we're starting to see less and less of them. I spoke to a lot of people following the 2020 election who said, if Trump's a nominee in 2024, I'm not going to vote for him. But things have gotten so bad under the Biden administration. It is so hard to pay your bills. It's so hard to get gas these days. I think, you know, the people I'm talking to, they're starting to move one way or the other. And I'm seeing a lot of people move towards the Republican Party.
If the election were held today in Georgia, Trump would beat Biden 49 to 44%, according to a New York Times Siena College poll. And I think a lot of Democrats are hoping that changes with the Georgia election case as that plays out. How are people responding to that case in Georgia, especially among this group of people who may not be convinced that Donald Trump is right for them?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I've said really since the Fulton County mugshot came out that I think that, you know, we're going to look back and say that was a mistake on the Fulton County's part, that really was what kind of set Trump up to take the nomination and win in 2024. I think people who might not have even been Republicans, that is just, you know, seeing a former president indicted with taking a mugshot, that just really has fired them up, whether they liked him before or not. I think people are mad about that, and I think that might actually end up backfiring on the Democrats.
What about a third-party candidate? There's RFK Jr. There's also rumblings of Mark Cuban possibly entering, although he denies wanting to, or even somebody like Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley. What's the support like for them?
You know, I think it's interesting. I would say, at least within the Republican side, it's split. I think probably 50% of everybody is you know, diehard supporting Trump, and 50% is looking elsewhere. Might even be 45% for Trump. I think the people that I talk to, when you look at third-party candidates, the two that come to mind obviously are Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. Nikki Haley has surged, especially here in Georgia, in the last couple of weeks following the most recent debates. I think she's really got a shot to you know, to bump up in the polls going into the primary season in 2024.
Yeah, they're saying that she is crusting at the right time, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah. We talked about being a Georgia voter, but you are the president of the Atlanta Young Republicans, so let's talk about being a young voter as well. This is a group of people that Biden greatly benefited from in 2020, but that support is now slipping away. Why is that?
Well, number one and only thing is the cost of housing. The American dream is being able to buy a home. The American dream is being able to succeed. The primary source of wealth generation in this country is owning a home, and that is completely slipped away under President Biden. 4 years ago, you know, if you saved the right amount of money, you could buy a home. The interest rates are pretty low. Now you can't save the amount of money that you need to because gas prices are so high, groceries are so high, and it's actually cheaper now to be in an apartment than it is to own a home. So we're taking away the ability for young Americans to move forward financially in their lives. And it's just a shame. And I think that's really going to be a big deciding factor for young voters looking to who they're going to vote for in November.
Well, the Iowa caucuses are just a few weeks away, and then the Georgia elections are going to be here before we know it. Time is moving so fast. Alan, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.